When the mind retreats, fear steps forward. When you stop believing, when you hesitate, when you doubt yourself, that's when fear finds an open door. You see, fear doesn't come when you're fighting. It comes when you stop fighting. It doesn't show up when your heart is burning with purpose. It shows up when you go quiet inside. The moment your mind says, maybe I can't. Fear whispers, you're right. And if you listen long enough, that whisper becomes your world. But here's the truth. Fear is not the enemy. It's the signal. It's the alarm telling you that your dreams are near, that you're standing on the edge of growth. Every champion has met fear face to face. Every warrior has felt their mind retreat. But they chose to stand their ground, to let courage speak louder than the noise inside. You want to know how to silence fear? You move. You act. You show up. You push forward, even when your knees shake. Because when the mind advances, when you focus on what's possible, when you decide that fear will not own your day, you rise. And every step you take forward, fear loses its grip. So don't retreat. Don't let the mind pull back. Because the moment you do, fear wins. Stand tall. Breathe deep. And tell your fear, I'm still here. Fear fills the space where belief fades. When you stop trusting yourself, fear quietly moves in. It doesn't knock. It doesn't announce itself. It just slips through the cracks of your doubt. It's one moment you're strong, confident, and ready to take on the world. The next, your mind hesitates, your heart questions, and fear sees its chance. Fear feeds on hesitation. It grows when you start asking, what if I fail? Instead of what if I succeed? When belief leaves your heart, fear builds a home in your thoughts. It begins to whisper, to twist your vision, to make you forget who you are. But the truth is, fear has no power of its own. It only borrows strength from your uncertainty. Every time you doubt your purpose, every time you second-guess your worth, you hand fear the keys. You give it control of your dreams, your actions, your voice. Yet deep down, belief still waits, quiet, patient, unbroken. It's the voice that says, you can. It's the spark that says, keep going, because the moment you choose to believe again, fear begins to fade. It loses its grip the second you decide to trust yourself once more. Fear is not born from action, but from hesitation. It's not the doing that scares you, it's the waiting. It's the moment between thought and movement where fear finds its voice. You start thinking too much. You replay every possible failure, every imagined mistake. And while your dreams are waiting for you to take one bold step, fear is building walls around your courage. The longer you wait, the louder fear grows. It begins as a whisper, soft and uncertain. Then it turns into a storm, shouting every reason why you shouldn't move forward. It convinces you that tomorrow will be better, that you'll be ready someday. But someday never comes for those who hesitate. Fear feeds on delay, thrives on your silence, your pause, your doubt. The moment you take action, fear has nowhere to go. It loses power when you move, when you speak, when you try. Because movement creates confidence, and confidence silences fear. So don't wait for the perfect moment. There's no such thing. The only moment that matters is now. Because every second you hesitate, fear gets stronger. And every step you take, it gets weaker. Retreating thoughts weaken your spirit. Every time you pull back from your purpose, your energy fades a little more. When your mind begins to doubt, your heart begins to shrink. You start seeing obstacles instead of opportunities. You start feeling small in a world that once felt full of promise. Retreating thoughts are like slow poison. They drain your confidence, your drive, your fire. The moment you tell yourself, I can't, something inside you starts to believe it. Your spirit listens to your thoughts, and it follows their direction. If your mind runs backward, your life follows behind it. But a strong mind keeps fear at a distance. A strong mind stands firm when storms come. It refuses to let fear write the story. It reminds you who you are, even when everything around you says you can't make it. A strong mind doesn't mean you never feel afraid. It means you don't surrender to it. It means you keep your focus forward, your energy steady, your purpose alive. Because fear cannot live in a mind that refuses to retreat. When your thoughts stay strong, your spirit stays unbreakable. That strength becomes the shield between you and fear. Fear is a signal, not a sentence. It's not the end of your story. It's a message from within. It doesn't come to stop you. comes to show you where you need to rise. Fear points to the places where you've yet to grow. It stands at the edge of your comfort zone, reminding you that there's more to become. When you feel fear, it's your soul saying, pay attention. It's telling you that something important is waiting on the other side. But too often we mistake that signal for a wall. We freeze, thinking fear means danger when really it means transformation. Fear isn't there to punish you, it's there to prepare you. It's proof that you're reaching beyond what's familiar, that you're stepping into something new. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has felt that same signal. The difference is, they listened differently. They didn't run from fear, they leaned into it. They saw fear not as a warning to stop, but as a sign to grow. So when fear appears, don't close your heart. Open it, because fear is not the end. It's the beginning of the path that leads to your strongest self. Champions don't avoid fear, they face it. They understand that fear is not a wall, but a doorway. Got a doorway to strength, to mastery, to self-discovery. When fear shows up, it's not a signal to stop, it's an invitation to rise. Every champion has stood at the edge of doubt, knees shaking, heart racing, wondering if they were enough. And still, they took the step. Because growth begins at the edge of discomfort. It doesn't happen in safety. It doesn't bloom in ease. It's born in those moments when your courage is tested, when your limits are stretched. The strongest version of you is built in the space where fear tries to hold you back. Champions know that the only way out is through. They move forward not because they feel fearless, but because they choose to be brave. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's action in the face of it. Every time you confront what scares you, you take back your power. You remind yourself that fear doesn't own you. It teaches you. It shapes you. And the moment you step through it, you discover the person you were always meant to become. Movement destroys fear. Fear cannot survive in motion. It feeds on hesitation, on stillness, on the moments when you stand frozen between what you want and what you're afraid to do. But the second you move, even a little, fear begins to lose its power. Every step forward builds courage. You don't have to run. You don't have to leap. You just have to take one step, and then another, and then another. Because progress, no matter how small, breaks the chains that fear tries to wrap around your mind. Fear thrives in imagination. It lives in the stories you tell yourself about what might go wrong, but action pulls you back into reality. When you move, your focus shifts from doubt to doing. Your energy changes. Your confidence grows. You begin to see proof that you are stronger than you thought. Every movement, every choice, every push forward tells fear, you can't stop me. That's how courage is built, not in perfection, but in persistence. You move, you stumble, you learn, and you rise again. Because the truth is simple. Fear fades in motion. In every step you take forward is a declaration that you are still fighting. Your inner dialogue shapes your reality. The words you speak to yourself become the world you live in. Every thought, every whisper in your mind builds the foundation of who you are becoming. If you tell yourself you're weak, you'll start to believe it. If you tell yourself you're lost, you'll stop looking for direction. But when you speak strength, you awaken it. When you choose words of power, courage begins to rise within you. Your mind listens to what you say, and your spirit follows that sound. So be careful with the language you use in your own head, because what you repeat becomes your reality. Speak strength, not surrender. Tell yourself you can, even when you're unsure. Remind yourself you're capable, even when life pushes you down. Your words can either chain you or free you. They can either drain your energy or ignite your purpose. The mind believes what it hears most often, so fill it with truth, with confidence, with vision. Even in silence, let your thoughts roar with faith, because every time you choose strength over surrender, you rebuild yourself from the inside out. And that voice becomes your greatest source of power. Courage is a habit. It's not something you're born with. It's something you build, moment by moment, choice by choice. Every time you stand up when you want to run away, you're training your spirit. Every time you face what scares you, instead of hiding from it, you're teaching yourself strength. The more you practice standing tall, the stronger you become. Courage grows like a muscle. At first it trembles. It shakes under the weight of fear, of doubt, of uncertainty. But the more you use it, the more powerful it gets. You learn that fear doesn't disappear. Just stop letting it decide for you. Courage becomes the voice that says, I can handle this, even when you don't have all the answers. It becomes the calm in the middle of the storm, the fire that refuses to go out. And every time you choose courage, you change something inside you. You stand a little taller. You breathe a little deeper. You trust yourself a little more. Because courage isn't a single moment, it's a way of living. And the more you live with it, the more unshakable you become. That's how strength is built from courage, practiced daily. When the mind advances, life expands. Everything begins inside your thoughts. When your mind moves forward, your world follows. Opportunities appear where you once saw obstacles. Doors open that you didn't even know existed. Because progress in life always starts with progress in the mind. When you choose to think bigger, to see beyond fear, everything begins to change. You start to attract what you once thought was impossible. You begin to walk with confidence instead of hesitation. You stop waiting for perfect conditions and start creating them. Focus forward, don't feed the doubt. Doubt is like a shadow, it grows only when you turn your back to the light. When you give your energy to fear, it multiplies. When you give your attention to growth, doubt fades away. The mind can either be your prison or your power. It depends on the direction you let it move. Every thought you feed becomes fuel for your future. So feed faith, not fear. Feed purpose, not pain. Because when your mind advances, your spirit rises with it. And when you keep your focus forward, life expands beyond anything you ever imagined possible. Victory begins with one brave decision. Not 1,000 plans, not perfect timing, just one single choice to move, even when fear tries to hold you still. Every great story starts with that one moment of courage. It's the moment when someone decides that fear will not be the final voice. The choice to move, even in fear, defines your destiny. Because bravery isn't about feeling ready, it's about stepping forward before you are. It's about saying, I will try, when everything inside you screams, what if I fail? That single decision changes everything. It shifts your path, your energy, your belief. It tells the universe that you're serious about becoming who you were meant to be. Fear will always be there, whispering reasons to wait. But destiny doesn't wait. Life rewards movement, not hesitation. And when you take that first step, something powerful happens. The road begins to rise to meet you. You start to feel strength you didn't know you had. Confidence grows where doubt once lived. All from one brave decision. Because that's where victory truly begins. Not when fear disappears, but when you decide to move forward despite it. So remember this. Fear will visit you, but it doesn't have to stay. It will test your mind, your heart, your will, but it cannot break you unless you let it. Every time your thoughts retreat, stand taller. Every time fear whispers, speak louder. You have within you the power to rise, to advance, to move, to win. Because courage is not found in the absence of fear, it is found in the decision to keep walking through it. The world doesn't belong to those who never feel afraid. It belongs to those who face fear and keep moving anyway. So lift your head, take that step, and remind yourself you are stronger than your doubt, braver than your fear, and greater than your circumstances. When the mind stands firm, fear falls silent. And when you move forward with faith, life opens its doors wide. That's where your victory begins. Right here, right now, with the courage to keep going.